everybody, and welcome to this week's AMA. I'm Tim from Ledger. Today we got Steven with us. So we're back after a pretty long break. The EU team's really been holding it down with the live streams, but it's really good to be back, and I see that we have a lot of questions coming in, so without wasting any time, we'll just jump right in it. Real quick though, if you do find this content useful, and if you like it, then please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel. That way we can make the YouTube algorithm work in our favor and get this info out to as many people as possible. But yeah, let's go ahead and start up here and see what kind of questions we got.
They got Caspa.
Yeah.
ETA for Caspa support.
God, we get so many questions about Caspa support.
Yeah.
So actually, good news on that. I don't know. I think I talked about this in a previous stream, but there is a Caspa Nano app that has been developed. It's not quite available for public release yet. It's still undergoing security audits. And there's also a Caspa web wallet that it can connect to. And several members of the team, we've all tested it out. It works pretty good. It's pretty bare bones at this point, so it's not like as clean of a UI as
it's the HTML.
Yeah.
You like send your transactions out as like HTML at the bottom.
Yeah.
It really feels like you're actually sending like coins out via a smart contract.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's very cyberpunk for sure.
Yeah.
But that should be available pretty soon. I think maybe once that app gets developed a little more. I'm not really too sure exactly the entire process. Our engineers are working on it, and the developer for the Nano app for the Caspa network is also working on it. So it's really difficult for me to give an ETA on exactly when that'll be, but really hope it's soon, because we get a lot of we've been getting your guys' feedback on it. We know that it's definitely
Caspa. The people want Caspa.
The people have spoken.
Spoken, and we've heard.
Yeah,
working on it.
Yeah, so hopefully soon. And I wish I can give you a more exact ETA on that, but it is definitely in the works. So yeah, hopefully soon.
Talk about a hot coin too. Man, that thing blasted.
I know.
Like up to, I don't know, it's probably like 25 in the market cap now. Like
I'm not sure. I haven't checked in a while.
It flipped like Adam and Monero, and I was like, wow.
Like, where did this thing come from?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is the out of nowhere.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. It's a pretty cool idea. You know, it settles blocks very quickly. It's very cheap.
Block stag.
Yeah, block tag. Yeah,
was like one.
Ghost tag.
Yeah, ghost tag.
Yeah.
Block tag, ghost tag, exactly.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting, actually.
For sure, definitely. All right, Emmanuel Lorenzo Diaz. Hello. Your Ledger Nano S LCD screen gave up after 5 years. That sinks. Sorry to hear that. You're asking, is it safe if I use a Ledger LCD screen replacement sold on Lazada or Shop or Amazon?
Tutorial on YouTube. I think I've seen people
have
posted this. I mean, we don't like officially have a like, oh, here's how to replace your screen. I mean, past 5 years, that would be out of warranty. And honestly, a pretty good, half a decade, a pretty good amount of time for like an LCD screen to be up long.
That's why the new ones come with the LED screen.
Exactly.
They last a lot longer.
I mean, I've heard and seen people on like Reddit and lots of places talk about replacing the screens using like merchants on like Amazon to purchase the screen. So I mean, ultimately, as long as you're not doing anything with your recovery phrase and it's purely just you kind of tinkering with like the physical ledger and the hardware, like the actual screen itself, like taking the current screen out, putting this new screen in, I would say you're okay. You might be at risk of kind of like bricking your device if you don't actually know how to like put that new screen in. But that being said, as long as your 24-word recovery phrase is safe, your assets are safe as well. You wouldn't have to be worried about voiding your warranty because 5 years it would be out of the 2-year warranty. So you can kind of feel free to play around with that screen and try to get that new screen installed in your ledger. But yeah, my advice would be follow the tutorials on YouTube. Maybe try to find some where like people in the comments have said like, hey, this tutorial worked, got the screen installed perfectly. Because I do know that it is possible. It's just not like a service that we at Ledger sort of officially, promote or endorse, but we're aware that it is a possibility.
And that people are going to do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
One other thing to keep in mind, if even though you're outside the warranty, if you are interested in getting a new ledger, we do offer promo codes for people that have Nano S's because they were deprecated, and so we no longer sell them, and most of them are outside the warranty. But just to help out our customers that did purchase Nano S's, we will provide you with a €30 discount code that you can use towards a new purchase, like for a Nano S Plus. If replacing the screen doesn't work, reach out to us, and we'll see what we can do about that. Yep. Cool. All right. Craig Perry's asking,
How easy?
yeah, you want to take it?
Yeah. So for how easy is it to transfer from a Nano S to X? There's sort of two ways you can think about it. Either you'd be sending your funds from the Nano S to the X, so that you would have like totally separate accounts, and you're sending pretty much from point A to point B. The other way of thinking about it is you have your 24-word recovery phrase set up with one device. You could use that exact recovery phrase with your other device and essentially just restore your funds from one device into your other one using the 24-word recovery phrase. That would save you, costs on fees if perhaps you have like a lot of different like ERC20 tokens. Each time that you send one of those tokens to another account, that will cost gas. And so effectively another way of doing this would be to just restore your funds using your 24-word recovery phrase between your two ledgers. It's kind of up to user preference. If you want to like manually send each of the tokens out, me personally, I would just restore it into the other device.
Much smoother, much easier.
Yeah, much smoother, easier, way cheaper. Yeah,
especially if you've got NFTs and stuff that you need to transfer.
Yeah. I mean, it pretty much will just move everything over for you automatically. That way you don't accidentally forget like, oh, wait, I had this one account that had this one thing that I wanted on it and I forgot to send it. So it's kind of cleaner in that way.
Yeah.
And the other nice thing is once you've moved everything over to that other device, you can use that original device sort of just as a backup. So that's kind of nice as well. I would restore it using the recovery phrase just for the sake of saving money. It's quicker, it's cleaner, easier.
Agreed. Definitely. All right. Looks like we got a crypto life card question. Jung 1986 is asking, can I use USDT from Ledger directly to CL card, or do I need to transfer it every time? So the CL card, short answer, yes, you will have to transfer it each time to the CL card. And the reason for that is the CL card is more like it's more like a prepaid debit card than anything else, where you can send funds and you have to remember whenever you load up funds to your CL card, you still have to approve that transaction on your Nano. So it wouldn't really be possible to have it set up so that your card auto deducts from your accounts in Ledger Live, because that would require the CL card to have access to your private keys for your account. And that would be a pretty big security concern, security risk. And so that's kind of why it's set up the way it is, so that you actually have to approve any funds physically from your Nano before they can be spent by the CL card. So there's really not really much way around that. But just, I guess, maybe just like knowing that it's for security purposes, and it maintains the security of your accounts, and that's kind of the reason why that hasn't happened yet. Yep. Ooh, and we got a lot of questions coming in. All right, here we are. 007 Bond.
Let's see, when are Chili's, H-Bar, Casper,
I'm gonna make that bigger.
VeChain, and more available, also natively supported in Ledger Live.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
CHZ Chili's, as far as I know, I think is a native ERC20 token.
I think so. Yeah.
So
check it out.
So you'd be able to store the CHZ Chili's token within an ETH account. For HBAR, you can make an HBAR account in Ledger Live, but you will need to activate it with Hashpack first, which is a third-party wallet. But once you've essentially activated it with Hashpack, outside of Ledger Live, you don't have to go back outside to Hashpack. You can manage your HBAR from that HBAR account in Ledger Live, just like you would with like Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Doge. other natively supported assets. For Casper CSPR, I think you might be able to add Casper account, but it might be as an ERC20 token. That I'll have to double check on mentally. For VeChain, VET, you have to be using a third-party wallet with your ledger connected. I think the one that we sort of advise users to utilize in our documentation is the VeChain Sync wallet.
Sync 2.
Yeah, Sync 2. Yeah, it's an upgraded version of the wallet.
Although I really like VWorld.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have you used VWorld yet?
No. I was
So
gonna say,
VWorld is really cool.
I've used Sync before, but not VWorld.
Yeah. So Sync is cool, but Sync is a desktop application. You actually have to install it. But VWorld,
it's an extension.
It's a Chrome extension.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah, VWorld is nice.
Okay.
I'll show you guys what it looks like. Let me enter the password real quick. And we don't have a support article for this. I did put in a request to get one made, but yeah, so you can connect it right here to VWorld, your Ledger. It's fully compatible with Ledger.
That's a super clean
It's
interface.
very
I
clean.
really like that.
Yeah.
I like it more than Sync. I'm not
It's
gonna lie.
way better. It's way better. Like honestly, yeah. It supports tokens, NFTs, everything on VeChain is supported in this wallet. I can actually get a link for it right here. VWorld Chrome extension. Go ahead and drop this here in the chat for you guys. Now, I am restricted on giving exact information here, but a little birdie told me that VeChain native support is coming to Ledger Live very, very soon.
I didn't know. Okay, so VWorld and native VeChain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I can't give an exact date because every time I do give a date on something, like I end up putting my own foot in my mouth. Like something goes wrong last minute and it has to get delayed. So like it doesn't look like it's going to. It looks like it's coming very soon. But yeah, VeChain is native support. It's coming to Ledger Live.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
I can move my VET out of Sync.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Ledger connected, but it's like
Right.
I always need to look at the Sync wallet. It's so nice to have it all in Ledger Live, one place. And
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, I did not even know that. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got
okay,
the alpha here.
Yeah, you
I
got
the alpha.
This guy knows.
Yeah, and did you go over? Yeah, same. Casper is a third-party wallet. Yep. Cool. All right. Let me find that actually. Do you want to read the next question? While I find that?
Yeah. So,
Oh, that's a
hi.
good question.
How do we restore a wallet if we have set up a passphrase for secret accounts? That would come down to if you set up the passphrase as a temporary passphrase or a pin attached passphrase. So like if you did a pin attached passphrase, that means when you first plug in your ledger, instead of entering in the original pin that you set up when you first, generated your 24-word recovery phrase and it asked you create a pin, when you set up your passphrase, if you selected set up with a pin, you would have had to select a pin, and then when you enter that passphrase pin, it'll effectively unlock a whole separate set of accounts connected to that passphrase. So in that case, your 24-word recovery phrase accounts and your passphrase accounts will be separated by those pins. Alternatively, if you set up the passphrase as a temporary passphrase, that means every time that you unplug the ledger, it will essentially go back to reverting to its default 24-word recovery phrase, and you'll go into the settings, security, passphrase, and then you'll select the temporary passphrase, and you'll re-enter every time that exact passphrase that you chose to set up. And then once you've done that, you'll hit confirm. It'll ask you to enter the PIN, and then you'll enter your PIN, and then it'll tell you, okay, passphrase set, and then you know that you're now interacting with those temporary passphrase accounts. So the question really boils down to, did you set up the passphrase as a pin attached passphrase, or did you set it up as just purely a temporary passphrase? That'll make all the difference of how you're actually going to get those accounts back in your hands again, essentially.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a little confusing. So like, yeah, I'll just show. Oh, I'm not on the right screen. Nope. Okay, cool. I'll just show you on my Nano real quick. So let's say I had a passphrase on this Nano that was the word apple. That was my passphrase. And I reset my Nano, and now I want to recover my passphrase. So you would enter your 24 words, same as normal, to recover your wallet. And then you just go through the process, just like Steven said, you just go through the process again. You go to your settings and then security, passphrase, and then it'll seem like you're setting it up for the first time, but that's expected. And so as long as the recovery phrase is the same inside the nano that was originally used to create that passphrase, then using the exact same passphrase again will result in the exact same accounts being derived. So that's how you effectively recover your accounts. You may have to add them back into Ledger Live if Ledger Live was reset. But if they're already in Ledger Live, you'll just be able to access them again from that passphrase. Go back. Cool. Yeah, passphrases are really cool.
Oh yeah,
really cool feature.
Favorite features.
Yeah, it could add a lot of security, a lot of increased security, but it can also create a lot of confusion.
Oh yeah, I know you got to be careful to remember.
Yeah.
I know people have done like a separate temporary passphrase for like each of their accounts.
Me too.
It's like
when I get a support ticket like that,
like too much security.
Yeah.
Unless you're really, really good about your OPSEC, you know exactly like I know, like the back of your hand, you have it memorized, or you know exactly where everything is.
Yeah.
Me personally, I like to use maybe like 1 or 2 temporary passphrases.
Yeah.
And even then, sometimes I'm like, is this too much?
Yeah.
Like maybe
I need this?
Just like one passphrase should be absolutely more than enough.
Same. Yeah. So. One passphrase for all of the secret accounts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where are we? Okay, we did that. All right. So Corey Fernandez is asking, I would love to get an explanation on how to set up multiple wallets. One for buying, one vault, one for minting, maybe one for selling too. Yeah, I can show you how to do that. All right, cool. So we'll go here to Ledger Live. Let me go ahead and open up. We'll use Ethereum as an example, the popular chain that a lot of people use. We'll open up the Ethereum app preemptively. So you see here, there it is. So you see here in Ledger Live, I got this Ethereum account right here, and it's labeled Ethereum-S+. This does belong to this nano. So the first thing to keep in mind about accounts is an unlimited amount of accounts can be created from just a single recovery phrase. So you don't have to set up a new recovery phrase. You don't have to do anything like that. If you're just wanting different accounts to like segregate your different actions, the different things you do, like for instance, on my personal Ethereum account, I like to keep the first account as like the HODL account that I don't really do much from. And then if I'm minting NFTs or if I'm interacting with DeFi protocols or if I'm doing swaps, things like that, I'll do that with the second account. And the reason I do that is because there is some risk associated with performing different actions out in the greater crypto wild cryptoverse. There are certain transaction types. There's a lot of, that could result in unexpected consequences, usually tied to a scam of some sort. And so, like for instance, like a popular one would be like that scammers use would be like, oh, come mint this free or come mint this NFT, and it's early access, blah 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 blah, and you go to do it. And you're blind signing and you don't see that it's actually a transaction that is setting approval for all on an existing NFT collection, or perhaps a transaction simply to send your ETH out of your account. And you're blind signing, so you don't really see that in the transaction, or it's easy to pass over it if you just assume that the website you're connected to is being honest. So it is a good idea to not do certain transactions and stuff from your main account. But you don't have to set up a new recovery phrase to do that. What you can do is you can come here. So I mentioned that you can set up an unlimited amount of accounts from one recovery phrase. Now, Ledger Live, just to make the UI easier for users, like primarily newer users that aren't as knowledgeable about like how things work in crypto, it'll only let you add the first account first. But once you fund an account, you can then add the next account. And then once that account's funded, you can then add the next account. Because technically you can add as many accounts as you want from single recovery phrase. So I'll show you how that works. So we got this ETH account here and it's already funded. So I'll just go through the same process to add another account, another ETH account, using the same nano. And you see it's synchronizing and it sees the account that I already have. And it's also seeing that I have a Ethereum 2 account that has a little bit of funds in it. So it'll let me add that account back in. I don't have it added in right now. But because this second account is funded, I can even add a third account if I wanted to. So then I can add all 3 of these accounts, or these 2 accounts, I can send a little bit of the ETH from this main account over to this account to fund it. Then I can add a fourth account. And then you can keep doing that. Now, to do this, keep in mind, you will have to send ETH back and forth to these different accounts to be able to do things. Like, even though they're tied to the same recovery phrase, I can't spend gas from this account. Like, I can't use the ETH in this account to pay for gas on any of these other accounts. I would actually have to like send it to the second account. So I can kind of show you how that looks. So we can add that second ETH account in. And let's say I want to do some stuff with this account, but there's only 19 cents worth of ETH, and that's not enough to really do anything on ETH. So I would go here to this account. I would generate my receive address. I would copy it, and then we'll go ahead and approve that on the Nano to clear that. And then I can go back here to my main ETH account, and I can send, and I can send it directly to that other account. And it's going to send over the Ethereum network, because as far as the Ethereum network is concerned, these are two different accounts. The Ethereum, like the network doesn't know that you are the owner of both these accounts. These are both just pretty anonymous wallet addresses according to the Ethereum network. So that's kind of how that would work, to be able to manage it with multiple accounts tied to the same recovery phrase.
And when you have like one for like buying, one for vault, one for minting, one for like selling, I mean, you could technically add all these different accounts. For the sake of like exploration, or like you were saying, you're connecting to some websites that you might not be totally certain of, what are you signing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's where like I would have like my sort of like main HODL account where I have everything that I want to keep safely stored, kind of like away from any, protocols, dApps, anything that can like connect to my ledger, so I don't mistakenly sign anything.
Yeah.
I have that set away, and I'll make a separate account, and I'll title it in Ledger Live like dgen account, or like exploration account, something like that.
Yeah.
That way I know if I connect to a website, or maybe I hear about this new airdrop that's coming, and I'm like, okay, I'm not 100% sure if this is real or not, but I still want to participate in it or check it out, and it requires you to connect an account, something like that. I'll always use that dgen account or exploration account where like I don't really have any money in it. I just use it purely to connect to things, to sort of check them out, see what's going on here. If it's one of those things where it's like connect with an account,
and sign a gasless transaction.
Exactly. Sign a gasless transaction, and you'll be eligible for this airdrop. I don't know if it's actually real or not, but I'm still curious to, see. It would be best, if not, highly advisable. You want to separate your accounts with funds in them from the account that you're going to be connecting with. So that way like, okay, all of my money is safe in this account over here. It's partitioned and separated from my sort of exploration account, and that's the one that you can go out and sort of click on stuff and be a little bit more like adventurous with. But yeah, you want to make it very clear which accounts are which. That way you don't mistakenly take your account with your funds in it and then start to interact with like different protocols, and suddenly you're signing a bunch of stuff and you're not really quite sure what you're signing, but you have funds in that account. That's not ideal. You want to have sort of like a separate account for like, okay, you might sign some questionable smart contracts from that account, but if there's no funds in it, there's no, NFTs or anything valuable in it, it's okay, because
there's nothing to steal.
Yeah, there's nothing to steal. So I like to always make those separate sort of like dgen accounts, and that way I'm only connecting with those when I'm not sure what I'm connecting to.
And not to beat a dead horse or anything, but it's important to note that if you were to sign a malicious contract, a malicious smart contract that's trying to trick you into something, like authorizing some token approval that gives that contract unlimited access to, like, say, your USDT, that can only affect the specific account that signs it. So even though these different accounts are all tied to the same recovery phrase, that contract couldn't steal funds from one of your other accounts. So they are definitely protected in that. That's just one more thing I wanted to throw in there, just to.
Well, it's like it's like if you have like ETH1 and ETH2, and ETH2 signs a malicious smart contract, ETH1 is totally safe.
Yeah.
ETH2 is the only one that would be at risk there. So you can separate your accounts, title them. It could be really beneficial. So you could have one account say buying, another account says selling, another account's like exploration, DeFi, airdrops. That way you know exactly which account you're using for like which purposes.
Yep. All right. Jose Lenny Solidum. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. Okay, so staked ADA and Ledger received 32 ADA per epoch. 2 weeks ago, I bought and staked more ADA, but I noticed my staking reward declined from 32 to 20 per epoch. So yeah, that's a bit tricky.
Sounds like it could be saturation.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm thinking whoever you're delegating your ADA to, like the pool, it sounds like they may have gotten a lot more people jumping in. And you have to think of it as the more people jumping in for rewards, the more watered down the rewards will be. And so you always want to find that golden balance between like the pool that I'm delegating my funds to, is it oversubscribed? You know, how much are the commissions?
Right.
Sometimes like people who are running pools will set commissions to 100%, and you won't get any rewards. And they do this to essentially deter people from delegating more assets to them because they don't want to be oversaturated, which leads to, like how you mentioned, less rewards.
Yeah.
In this case, I would maybe look around. You always want to do your own research with, you know, whoever you're delegating your stake to, but look around at other pools that might be offering a higher APY, and sort of switch your ADA over to a different pool and see perhaps if maybe you get the rewards that, you know, you're looking for. I think you mentioned you were getting 32 before and you added even more ADA. So perhaps switching to a different pool and seeing if you get more than 32 ADA, that would sort of confirm our suspicions that the pool you're currently using may be oversubscribed right now.
Yeah. Yeah. When it comes to staking, with any protocol, even like staking through Ledger Live, it's important to kind of like do routine maintenance on it, like check your validators, make sure they're still paying out rewards. Because keep in mind that when you stake through Ledger Live, we do have some, we actually do run some staking pools, the Ledger by Figment, for a lot of them. But depending on who you're getting, it's kind of really outside of like Ledger Live that it's happening. You're using the Ledger Live application to stake your ADA, but it's happening at the protocol level. It's happening on the Cardano blockchain, and you can look at that by like connecting your ledger to Yori or I'm not going to recommend
Eternal, Nami,
yeah,
ADA Light.
I really like Eternal. I really like Eternal.
Eternal's super nice.
It's a very nice wallet. So you could actually go in and look at the your validator and see, you know, what's going on with it. But if you're having trouble with that, you can also reach out to us at our on our support page, support.ledger.com. We'd be happy to look into it for you and check to see if there's anything going on with your validator, to see if maybe they're oversaturated or they've raised their commission or something else is going on.
There could be random stuff too, like not necessarily misbehavior. Misbehavior can lead to slashing, which can lead to you won't get your rewards.
Yeah.
But sometimes if a validator just goes offline temporarily, like internet, something happens to the internet, it goes offline. It's not necessarily like nefarious or malicious behavior, but it can have an effect on the rewards, and as a result, you'll see less given to you. So there is even a chance that like this epoch, you know, this 5-day period, you only got this much ADA, but maybe the next epoch you get the ADA that you were expecting. That would also confirm that maybe the validator that you're pooling with right now is just
temporary outage.
Yeah, they had like a temporary outage last week or something like that. So it's worth maybe giving it a little bit of time if you really like who you're staked with. But if it's something that it just keeps happening and you're like, I'm not getting the rewards that I'm expecting, I would suggest to, you know, look around at other pools and see what you can get.
Yeah. Well said, Stephen.
Thank you.
All right, Nicola, I think you're asking, I don't speak Italian, but I think you're asking when the Italian language will be available in Ledger Live natively. Let me go ahead and check this real quick. I'm just going to run this through Google Translate real quick just to make sure that I am translating this correctly.
Yeah.
Okay,
hey,
cool.
Call it. You speak it down.
No, I mean I saw lingua and Italiano.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, so I don't believe the Italian language. Let me check in here real quick. Hmm. Yeah, so it looks like Italian is not available in Ledger Live. I don't see anything about that, but I can put in a request. I can't guarantee that it'll result in anything immediate. However, the features that we include in Ledger Live are largely based on the number of feedback requests that we get. So whenever I get someone asking for something, you know, in one of our live streams or in our live chat or through email, I always just file a feedback request. That way they stack up, and our developer team can prioritize based on the amount of feedback requests they're getting. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a note to get that one. Italian language Ledger Live. Cool. So I put a note of that, and I will submit a feedback request when we get done with this stream. Um,
Can I see my soul balance I transferred in some yesterday? So that was synchronization error, and it
Yeah.
should be all fixed up by now.
yeah, I can confirm at least in my Ledger Live, it is.
Yeah, I think there was sync
Yeah.
errors and people trying to add accounts. It wasn't
And
working.
sending. Basically, the whole back end was down.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I believe it should be fixed by now.
Yeah.
If you're still having, those precise issues, I would, make sure you close Ledger Live completely, reopen it. May help to clear the cache, just to make sure everything is, fresh. And then try to add a Solana account or, try to resynchronize your accounts. It should be working perfectly fine.
Yeah.
If for any reason it is still not working, you're not seeing some Solana that you sent to your account yesterday and it's just not appearing and everything is synchronized, you cleared your cache, etc. You can always use Phantom or Soulflare or any Ledger compatible third-party Solana wallet, and you'll be able to see your Solana. That was a great workaround while this error was happening. However, at this point in time, it should be all resolved. And so I would say close Ledger Live, reopen it, and then see if the error is still persisting. It should.
I'll go ahead and drop the article for that in case you want to bookmark it for later, in case anything ever does happen. That'll show you exactly how to connect your ledger to Phantom. Phantom is usually the wallet that I use when I'm doing Solana stuff. Because with Phantom, you can connect it to other dApps like to Magic Eden and like different Solana protocol, network protocol based dApps. Very widely used. Abdurrahman Ismail. Man, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I do apologize. But you're asking when is Stacks back in stock. So the Ledger Stacks is currently still on back order, and it is not yet available to place new orders. And I don't really have much more information for you other than that. But hopefully soon would be the best answer I can give on that. And I apologize, I can't give you more on that.
The ledger we bought is safe and secure.
That's good. We have an article for that.
Yeah, effectively, whenever you open up Ledger Live, plug in your ledger and set it up, one of the final steps will be something called the genuine check, where it pretty much verifies whether your device is authentic or not. If it passes that genuine check, you know for a fact that that ledger is real, it's genuine, it's authentic, it's good to go. Another way to just know that you're all good to go with the device you're using would be by making sure that you are the individual generating the recovery phrase on the device. If you bought a Ledger device and it already had a recovery phrase set up with it and it was asking you to enter a PIN immediately, or if you bought a Ledger device and the sheets of paper inside of the box already have words written on it, that would be an indication that someone has already potentially generated a recovery phrase with that device and you don't want to necessarily use it. In that situation, I mean, if you ordered a device from us and it came with recovery sheets that had words on it, you could reach out to us and we would be more than happy to address that, take care of you and your device. But if you're not too worried about that, you could technically just reset the ledger, just incorrectly enter the PIN 3 times in a row. It'll completely factory wipe the ledger and then you'll be able to set up the ledger as a brand new device. It'll just generate you a brand new 24-word recovery phrase. And most importantly, like Tim included into the chat, the "Is my ledger device genuine" article, that genuine check when you first set up your ledger is going to tell you everything. If the device passes that, you know it's an authentic, genuine ledger device. Another sort of fun fact, every time you click the My Ledger tab in Ledger Live, where you like install apps or you upgrade Ledger Live or you install firmware, update firmware, every time you click the My Ledger tab, that is a genuine check. It's performing a genuine check. And so if you're ever curious, after setting up your ledger, you're just like, is this thing real? If you can connect to the My Ledger tab and install apps, that's a genuine ledger.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few different ways to go about it, but ultimately, as long as you're generating your own 24-word recovery phrase and it's passing that genuine check in Ledger Live, you're good to go.
Yep. And I can just go ahead and show you real quick what that looks like. We got Ledger Live open. So anytime you go to the My Ledger tab, so click on it.
That's a genuine check
right
there.
Check. It's going to ask me on the ledger, allow a secure connection. Once you allow that, it performs a genuineness check right here in Ledger Live. It's really quick. And if it's not genuine, you won't get past that.
Yeah.
You won't be able to get in here to update your device, install nano apps.
It would probably throw you a big error.
It'd be a big error.
Big error with like a red X being like
it
not
says,
genuine.
Yeah, it says genuine check failed.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I've even ever seen that. So it's extremely rare.
The only time I've ever seen it was like when there was like an issue with Ledger Live that needed to be fixed. It was like a bug.
Yeah, it wouldn't actually be the ledger itself.
Yeah.
It would be something around the
It ended
ledger.
up being a bug.
Yeah.
That we had to patch up. Okay, so we got question about Ergo. John Nipple asking about Ergo. So I don't know. Let me just go ahead and really check to see where it's at on the roadmap. Actually, I can actually do that just by looking it up on CoinGecko.
He could store Ergo with
The Nautilus wallet.
Yeah.
And it's a Chrome extension. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, Ergo is ranked number 328, so it's probably not being prioritized. Right now, the main goal of our developers, since there's so many different blockchains now, is just to try to get the top 50 all integrated. And then from there, they're gonna work down. So since Ergo is ranked number 328, your best bet is gonna be to use a Nautilus wallet. And then I can drop those instructions for you here real quick.
There was another Cardano wallet. I forget which one it was though that allowed for it was ADA and Ergo specifically.
Oh, really?
But it was just when you set it up with ADA, it would let you connect with the ledger. Whereas when you said Ergo, it was only soft wallet.
Oh,
so
really?
It wouldn't be helpful here. But that was the one I thought like could be the first one to maybe have ledger support.
Yeah,
but
that would be cool.
We're gonna keep an eye on that and try to put that at the forefront of like, okay, if we do have an Ergo, because I mean there was a while there when Ergo was really getting requested.
Yeah.
Similar to Caspa, where it's like the more that we hear about it from the community, the more outreach from the community, like we'll listen. So yeah, the more people who want Ergo or Caspa, we are listening and ready to build with that. We just kind of need to know that there are people there who like want the application, they want it built out.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort.
Yeah,
and it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, that too.
But totally worth it if that's what the customers want. But yeah, you can totally connect to the Nautilus wallet with your ledger and fully manage your Ergo there for the time being. Let's see.
Ledger stop supporting near staking in 2024. I don't believe so.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I
haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about near staking being dropped. So I wouldn't worry about that. For the time being, you can stake your near in Ledger Live, or you can use the
My Near wallet.
I think they may have rebranded to like maybe Near Wallet. Our documentation just says Near Wallet instead of My Near Wallet. But I think the domain itself might still be like My Near Wallet.
They're always changing the name.
Yeah, exactly. I know Tahoe or Tally Ho before.
Became Tahoe.
Yeah, it became Tahoe. So
the worst is the Luna. It was Terra Station, then it became Rebel Station when it transferred to Luna Classic, and then now it's something else. Apparently.
Yeah. Another recent was I think Hero Wallet became Leather.
Oh right.
Leather Wallet.
Yeah.
So, like they literally do change like every like couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's rebrand. Yeah.
But yeah, I would. You can use the Near wallet, but for now, I believe you can stake your Near, unstake your Near, and Ledger Live, no issues. Haven't heard any word of us, dropping support. So I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, there was recently an issue specifically with Near.
A slight outage.
Yeah, a slight outage, and then people had to go and Near users had to go and connect to my Near wallet or Near wallet, whatever it is. Yeah, and we can drop the Help Center article for that in case you ever run into any issues. It is Near wallet.
It was the same with the Avalanche wallet.
Yeah.
They recently got rid of that, but now there's Core, which I actually love Core.
Core is sweet.
I've kind of fallen in love with
You
Core.
can manage Bitcoin and like there's like 11 different chains or something that you can
It's pretty incredible actually.
Yeah,
I was like, what's this new wallet? And I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Near wallet. Drop that.
Let's see the next one. If we're staking injective. Where we go?
It does this thing in the comments where it'll just like.
Oh, there we go. If we're staking injective on Ledger, are we still eligible for airdrops? Also, we access projects on the injective protocols. That really kind of it depends on each unique airdrop. Right now, airdrops are really getting selective. Like for certain networks or for certain protocols, you need to interact with them, and certain protocols will support hardware like connection. Others won't support it. So it really depends on which airdrops. Like you want to look into the specific airdrop you're going after and see if there's certain requirements to be eligible to claim the airdrop. Each airdrop is different. Each network is different. Each protocol is different. So it's really best to sort of reach out to like the official, development team for like that specific protocol and that airdrop, and maybe ask them like, okay, if funds are self-custodied on a hardware wallet, am I still eligible for this? Or can I use my hardware wallet, but then I have to register like the account with something on the protocol? Airdrops seem to be getting a little bit more, not like demanding, but like you have to do things to get them. They're not necessarily just like shooting them out to people. It's more of a like, okay, you need to come to the actual, protocol and like enter an account address to like credit for the airdrop,
right? And sign this type of transaction.
Yeah, exactly.
And do this type of interaction.
I know for like Scroll over the weekend, one of the things to be eligible for the airdrop, you had to deploy a smart contract, and it was like as simple as like one click.
Yeah.
But that was their way of being like, we want to make sure that the people who are doing the airdrop want it. Like they're actually like going out of their way to get it, versus just sitting back and being like, I just want want the airdrop.
And testing the network basically.
Yeah, I think also it's like to test like Sybil resistance, to know that like there aren't just like, it's not just like one dude with like 1 billion wallets collecting. There's a way to actually check against like, okay, how many individuals are trying to claim this airdrop? Is it one dude with like 10 wallets, or is it actually 10 people with 10 different wallets? Always best to reach out to whoever's running the airdrop and sort of asking those questions of like, what do I have to do to be eligible to claim this airdrop? Because I don't know if I would call like airdrop season, but there's a lot of talk of airdrops going around right now.
A lot of airdrops happening.
Not all of them are legit either.
No,
so like, you really want to make sure that you're asking these questions. And extra piece of advice, if you are sort of hunting airdrops, so to speak, I would highly suggest making a dedicated wallet just for hunting airdrops. I just made one last night specifically, and it's just sort of kind of what I mentioned earlier. It's sort of like an exploration wallet. That way, if I'm like, okay, I need to sign something to be eligible for this one airdrop, I don't have any money in that wallet, That way, if the airdrop isn't real, I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they kind of go hand in hand, having these like exploration accounts, and sort of as we enter this like airdrop season.
Yeah.
What people are saying at least.
Yeah, people are saying it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of airdrops. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, well said, for sure. Okay. We got Dale's asking, no internal transactions showing for each transaction. Yeah.
Yep,
So an internal transaction is a transaction made between two smart contracts, and it's not necessarily an on-chain transaction. So yeah, Ledger Live has a really hard time displaying those, and the reason is, so basically, each individual like internal transaction would look a little bit different. So Ledger Live would have to know the exact smart contract like for every single type of internal transaction, and it's really difficult to get that incorporated into Ledger Live. It just basically requires a lot of grinding, a lot of work. So I do know that our team is working on a fix for this and working on a way to get this to work. But in the meantime, you know what? I don't even have a example of a wallet that has an internal transaction.
Yeah.
So if you go to Etherscan, let me just show you what I'm doing here.
Hit that internal transactions tab.
Yeah, you gotta hit the internal, but you're only gonna see the internal transaction tab if you have an internal transactions. Otherwise, they don't show up. So I can just go here, change this back to the Ethereum. Oh, it doesn't. Grab my wallet address, paste it here into Etherscan. This is the only way that you'll be able to see your internal transactions. So they'll show up right here between transactions and token transfers. And it'll just be another tab that says internal transactions, and that's where you'll see those on Etherscan. Now, keep in mind though that Ledger Live, though it cannot see the transaction in the transaction history, and so it won't show. It'll just be nothing. It will show the balance in your wallet. So if you transfer half an ETH to your account, your balance will update, and it'll have the deposit, and it'll show you the current balance. But there'll just be mysteriously no transaction ID for it. And this is becoming more and more common for exchanges because they save honestly a lot of money doing this, because they can send out ETH to like 30, 40 different ETH accounts all at once, pay a single on-chain transaction fee, and save a ton of money.
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about they're transacting like 1 million different accounts in a day, and gas is like $13 to send whatever, that's like 13 million versus like, what if you just bundle that into one and did one transaction? So I mean, it makes sense from an exchange point of view if you're like, we're just trying to save money. Because it would burn through gas if you were just doing each transaction.
That's what they were doing before too. Like they must have been, I would love to see how much money that they've spent on just Ethereum gas fees.
I can't even think about
for all the people that are just withdrawing like $50 in ETH or $20
yeah. The network's congested. They're like, the fee was $100, but you were moving $50. Like that's the exchange eating that.
All right. Paula C is asking, will you add Terra Classic to the wallet? That's a good question. So this is kind of along the same. Oh, I just went to Etherscan and showed you guys that, and I realized I didn't even have Chrome showing. My apologies. So real quick, just to backtrack, when you put your wallet address into Etherscan right here and search for it, you'll pull up your account. This is my same account that I was showing you earlier in Ledger Live. And you would have an internal transaction tab right here, right in between these two tabs. But I don't have any internal transactions for this account, so there is no tab, which makes this even more mysterious. But yeah. So yeah, back to Terra Classic though. Go to CoinGecko and look what the market cap rank. I think it's the same deal with
third-party wallet.
Yeah, and let's see.
64. Huh?
It's my 64?
Huh?
Well,
we could see. Yeah, I mean, it's not like we like directly control it, but I would be like, that's not like 472 on the list where it would be like, oh, it's got to climb a little bit. Like 64, not too bad. And we already have like third-party wallet support.
There's a lot of support for Classic.
We can't give like a precise ETA on like native support, but you can already connect via third-party wallet with
it used we did change it. Dude, our support team is
Okay,
so
now it's called
awesome.
Galaxy Station. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Sweet.
I was like Rebel. No, be the Terra Station.
It was Rebel,
but-
yeah.
Okay, you can
Cool.
for now store your Luna Classic with the Galaxy Station wallet. But yeah, no native support quite yet.
Nice
But
article.
seeing it at 64, pretty promising.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have any guarantees, but
Yeah.
like I said, it's based off of, you know, if it can get higher up in that market cap, or sort of higher up in the list of, you know, tokens, coins in coin market cap, you know, the higher the possibility is. So I would say keep an eye on it, and for the time being, Galaxy Station will be your go-to.
Yeah, and it looks. I haven't connected to Galaxy Station. I did connect to Rebel Station quite often, and also Terra Station.
Terra Station.
Terra Station.
Terra
Yeah.
Station, yeah.
And those are both great. It looks like it's a different UI, so it's a new wallet. Well, it's actually pretty similar now that I'm looking at it. It's just kind of in dark mode, but yeah, it looks like it's probably a pretty good wallet. Very secure to do this. It just won't be in Ledger Live, which could be kind of like a pain for certain people. But yeah, it gives you a way to do it. MCBA, how you doing? Yeah, glad to have you here.
Let's see, can I transfer PYR? I think they're ERC20 tokens. I remember PYR from
Oh, Vulcan Forged.
Vulcan Forged.
That's
Yes,
right.
that was it.
Yeah, and it is. Yeah, it's an ERC20 token.
ERC20. Okay. Yeah. So you can store your PYR tokens in an ETH account. You just want to make sure when you make that withdrawal that you select the Ethereum ERC20 network, and then you'll see your PYR under your ETH account. It'll just be ERC20 version.
Yep. And I can confirm it is fully supported. Yeah, so just send it straight to your, just like Steven just said, straight to your ETH address. And once received, it'll look just like this. You'll see your ETH account. You'll have this token drop down menu here, and it'll pop up right here, just like Link, Matic, these other tokens that I have in here. Cool. Jesse S. Any advice on my Ledger Nano S not being detected on Ledger Live? It turns on when I plug it in, and I can enter my passcode, but it's not detected in Ledger Live. Ledger Live's updated. So the first thing I would ask is the firmware updated on your device? So it's going to look a little bit different on the Nano S, but it looks very similar to this. So you can hold both buttons, go to the control center, go to the settings, general, and then find the firmware version. It won't look exactly like this on the Nano S. The UI is different on all the devices, but you'll be able to find it through that same basic flow. And then check to see what the firmware version is showing on your Nano S under Secure Element. If it's not 2.1.0, then that could be the reason, if it's like pretty far out of date. And I'll be honest with you, if it's really far out of date, like 1.3.1 or something like that, pretty far down, it could be difficult. It could be possible to connect to like an older version of Ledger Live to update it, and then you'll be able to connect to the latest version. But for these types of issues, USB connection issues, they're actually quite complex sometimes. Like not complex, but difficult to assist people with, especially on like a YouTube live stream. But if you reach out to us at our support page, then any one of our agents will be happy to exhaust all possibilities. And if it turns out that it can't be connected, because it's having some kind of like a like a hardware issue, then we'll either replace it if it's under warranty or give you a discount code. But you know, there are a few other things. Like,
I think like quickest sort of workarounds are like avoid a USB sort of like hub, like a multi-port. You know, if you have one of those, like, okay, you plug in your USB and then there's like 16 different channels for like other things to plug in, it's probably going to be pulling away a little bit too much energy, so the device isn't getting recognized by Ledger Live. So yeah, I would say avoid sort of like, you know, excessive USB hubs, multi-ports. Adapters and converters can sometimes block that connection. So it's sort of like a quick one to rule out. As well as just faulty cables. I've had situations where, you know, we'll be troubleshooting network stuff going back and forth, and then it'll just be like, hey, what if I just tried this other cable over here? It's the same shape as the port. Hey, it turned on, it worked, it connected. So quick ones are, you know, try a different cable, you know, rule out a faulty cable. That'll be the first one. Because it sucks to go through like all the other troubleshooting steps and
it
then
turns out to be
realize
the
that
cable.
it turns out to be the cable. And
That
you're-
is the most common.
Yeah,
Is a bad cable.
I've had people for like hours trying to figure something out, and then I'll be like, "Have you tried another cable?" And they're like, "Well, no, not yet." And then they try it, and they're like, "Hey, that did the trick." And it's just like sometimes a different cable can just really do it all.
Yeah. So we're at about the 4 to 5 minute mark. So let's try to. We're probably going to power through. We're going to power through a little bit, but we're going to try to get everybody. Yeah, we're going to try to get everyone's questions here. John Pamplin is asking, "Hey guys, complete beginner here. Got a Nano X and installed Ledger Live. It just creates wallet addresses for each coin, right? There's no account I have to create that ties it all together." That's exactly right. All your accounts are tied directly to the 24-word recovery phrase that you set up with your Nano. They'll all be derived straight from that.
Everything.
So, everything. So that'll be your master key to all your accounts. So make sure you got that recovery phrase written down, offline, stored somewhere safe. That way you'll always be able to recover any account that you create from your Nano with your recovery phrase. Port Nocturnal. When can we do swaps in and out of Cardano on Ledger Live, like with all other blue chips? Good question.
Yeah, we don't have an ET on that right now.
Actually, I already know. Yeah,
I was gonna say with like Cardano, I think we have like you could probably use like Sunday Swap or Muesli Swap.
Yeah, you can
with your Ledger connected.
Yeah,
as a hardware device.
Sure.
So
yeah.
if you're looking to swap like ADA or other like Cardano based assets, you can always use Sunday Swap or Muesli Swap. Both good options with Ledger compatible connection. But yeah, nothing like in the Discover tab per se. I don't think like even if you tried to like swap using like CIC or Changely, I'm not sure if ADA is.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is yet.
There's a couple assets like I think like Atom's one of them too, where you really can't swap in and out of it.
Our providers just don't support them.
Yeah, and it depends on user location. Like every user is in a different location, and each location. The third-party service providers for swapping, they have to adhere to KYC AML laws. So you may hear about one person saying, "Oh yeah, I swapped X for Y in Ledger Live," but you yourself may not get that option. That's probably a situation where just user location, that asset isn't supported for swapping where you're at. But you can always try to find other dexes online. Or alternatively, you can use an exchange that maybe you've used in the past and you trust it, and you can find the trading pair you're looking for that way.
Yep. All right. Hans Variety, Hariotti,
Celestia,
yes. That was one that just kind of came out of nowhere.
I did not get the Celestia airdrop, but shout out to all the people that did.
For sure.
Seen people I think that kind of I don't know if it woke airdrop season back up again, but a lot of people got that TIA Celestia airdrop, so congrats on that. And shout out to Hans for that.
Is this even a stream of the Real Ledger team or a scam stream? Nope, we are Real Ledger Sports.
This is Real Ledger.
We are the US based team. Our set, as you can see, is not quite as nice as the EU team set. They have a wonderful set, by the way.
They do. It's pretty nice looking.
Yeah, but nope. Yep, we are the US based team for Ledger.
And if you ever have any questions, you can reach out to support.ledger.com and you can just ask. You can be like, "Hey, I was watching the stream on YouTube. Is this real or not?" And then you can just copy and paste this link and we'll be able to tell you like, "That's Tim and Steven."
Yeah.
Or we could be like, "That is not a real stream."
Yeah, don't trust, verify.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Cena Dorsch. Either scam NFTs. Yeah, here, let me just show you real quick. Yeah, that's definitely a problem here in Ledger Live. Not just in Ledger Live, it's a problem across crypto.
I was gonna say all of my wallets are just bombarded with
these
scam voucher
scams.
Yeah,
every one of these.
It's annoying too because I genuinely have to click through, see more until I can actually see my NFTs.
Yeah. And it's more prevalent on Polygon because the fees are so low, so it costs the scammers hardly anything to deploy these things.
Yeah,
that's why you don't see them as much on. Usually, when you see them on Ethereum, it's very targeted. Like someone will hold STE tokens in their account, the scammer will then confirm that and then send them a scam STE voucher. But honestly, like it's at this point, it's not possible for Ledger Live to differentiate the difference between what's a scam and what's legit. We are working on something for that, but it's a highly complex topic, problem to like overcome. So the best thing to do is just to hide the scam NFTs.
Just hide the NFTs,
Yep.
and I know it can be really tedious having to go through each one. And I know like the moment that you're done hiding all of them, the next day you have like 12 more. It's really annoying, and we're definitely playing with ways that we can maybe filter through that. One thing, it's not quite NFTs, but sort of token related, and will appear in your transaction history. You can go into the settings and hide zero value token transfers.
Yeah.
So that way, like, you don't maybe mistakenly interact with something from your account's transaction history.
That I think that happens automatically now, doesn't it?
Oh, really?
Okay, that's the address poisoning stuff.
Okay, if it's enabled by default, that's nice. I know before it was like you could toggle it.
That was such a problem, the address poisoning.
Kind of a way to filter through things similar to that, but for the time being, you have to manually hide the NFTs, and we know it's super redundant and it can be annoying. But we're working on ways to effectively filter those so you don't have to see them.
Tyre is asking, I set up NanoX and you have your NFT secured. Nice. You got Ledger Recover. Sweet. Nice. Can I use Uniswap? Yeah, definitely. So basically you can go here. Let me just open up Uniswap real quick. So the first thing you want to do is get your Nano connected to MetaMask, similar to like I have mine connected. I can drop that article for you real quick. All right, so first, connect to MetaMask. And then from there, you'll go to Uniswap, and then you can launch the app.
They'll probably connect. Well, already connected.
It automatically connected. Yeah, and it looks like it connected my other ETH account automatically. But yeah, so you would click on the Connect Wallet button up here in the corner, and then you can, from there, you can connect your wallet and get in.
Start swapping.
Yep. And you have to sign everything from your Nano, so you'll be good to go.
ETH account trying to figure out how to transfer from one to the other. Also, thank you, Burp Sherple. We appreciate that.
Yeah,
thank you.
Love to have you here. Yeah.
Thanks for this experience. 2 ETH accounts transaction. Was trying to figure out how to transfer one to the other.
Yeah.
You would just transfer your ETH virtually from sort of point A to point B.
Yep. You can go here. You can receive from one account.
Yep.
Get the wallet address.
The address. Confirm it with your ledger. Just be extra sure. And then same thing. You just go up to your other ETH account. Send it
right to the account.
Paste it.
And then you can send the ETH right over the network.
Just send it from point A to point B, essentially.
And it'll basically just switch counts. All right. Let's see. We are a little over. I'm pretty sure Clement's about to pop in here and tell us to get off, but we're going to go for a little longer if we can. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If I add an account empty, if I give this address to a third party to send me some digital tokens, is there any risk? Yeah. So the short answer is no. This address right here, this receive address that you generate, this is perfectly safe to give out. The only thing anyone can do with this address is they can send things to the wallet, or they can look it up on a block explorer and see what you got in your account. But they cannot steal anything. This is a read, receive only address. The only way that it can be sent out of the address is with the private keys. So yeah, you're definitely safe to do that. All right. Have you guys fixed the error when sending Bitcoin? Yes. Yeah, that error that you're talking about, yeah, that has been fixed. There's been a couple. There's been the UTXO one where it was where it says
transaction pool.
Yeah, and the mempool spent transaction. Yeah, that has been resolved. The main thing to look for now with Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin network fees are so high, go to mempool.space. Just mempool.space and look at what the current transaction the transaction costs are for Bitcoin, and just go over that a little bit. Do like advanced custom fee amount and put in 55 sats per VByte. That way you're just guaranteed to be included in the next block, because if you send down here at like 20 with no priority or less, you could get stuck in the mempool for a very long time, and it could be very difficult to unstuck that.
My personal, just me personally, I always go for a higher fee just because even if it's like a buck or two higher,
Yeah,
just knowing that I get my transaction settled within like, maybe like 5-10 minutes,
right.
even quicker, it's so much better than saving like $2 and then just waiting for like hours for a transaction to settle. So me personally, I always like to set gas a little bit higher just so I know I'm not going to be like waiting all night, hitting refresh.
Yeah.
Like, oh, when am I going to get my Bitcoin?
Yeah. Yeah, Andrew, totally noted your concern. However, we are streaming from the official Ledger Support YouTube channel, the Ledger YouTube channel. So, yeah, wearing a badge probably wouldn't add any other like assurances other than that. But yeah, again, you're free to reach out to our support team, like from our official support site, support.ledger.com, and say, hey, are Tim and Steven actually agents at Ledger? And then you're also welcome to go into our YouTube channel and go back through all the live streams. I think I've appeared in about 100 live streams. So,
I mean, with this one
Yeah.
being the legitimate one, you could subscribe to this one and then you'd know for a fact whenever we would go online, it's the legitimate one. But yeah, better, safe than sorry. So yeah,
Yep.
good eye for detail.
For sure. Yeah, so Neo, Deepak,
So that's what Arweave,
Arweave,
Optimism,
yeah.
Neo, you'll need a third-party wallet.
same with Arweave.
Same with Arweave.
Yeah,
Optimism,
that's supported.
yeah, Optimism supported natively in Ledger Live, so you could just go to the accounts tab, type in OP or type in Optimism, and you can add your OP account in Ledger Live, no issues. But yeah, for Arweave and Neo, you'll need to be using a third-party wallet to
Yeah.
store those.
And I did drop the support article for Neo. You're going to be connecting to the Nautilus wallet. If you just scroll up, you'll be able to find that. All right. I think, is that it? Oh, I'll go. What is my Algo wallet. All right. One last one.
Oh, Ledger ever going to offer staking for Algorand? I mean, that kind of depends on Algorand because
Yeah.
they switched their governance.
Yeah.
The whole model switched from like you just
Yeah.
stake to you need to actually be like a governor and you need to be voting on proposals to actually get those algo rewards. So it would be more of a question of, are those
It is Ledger Live. Yeah.
are those protocols that are allowing you to like take votes to vote on them, are they going to be Ledger compatible? Can you connect a Ledger to it? Ultimately, those protocols or those development teams will have to reach out to us for that type of integration. But yeah, it's definitely something that we're aware of. In the past, I know it was a lot easier to stake algo just sort of passively, and now you really have to be active with their new governance model. Like, I think you're called a governor, and you actually have to vote on things to actually get those rewards. Kind of similar to Tron, actually. Like, you actually need to like vote using your TRX and really be a part of the network, which I think is kind of cool.
I think
it's
so
like
too.
you're actually really earning your staking rewards by dictating the future of the blockchain. Just kind of how it should be, in my opinion. But
Cool. So yeah, follow that support article if you want to stake your algo with your ledger. You can connect to my algo wallet, and then you can connect that to the algo staking dashboard. All right, last question, John Francis. Main difference between the Nano S Plus and the Nano X. So basically, the main difference is Bluetooth. So the Nano X, I got one right here somewhere.
So yeah, the X is if you're an on-the-go guy.
Yeah, so the X has a battery in it, and you can connect via Bluetooth to iOS or Android. The Nano S Plus can also connect to Android, but you need a cable. So I guess mainly if you're primarily iOS, the Nano X is probably the best device for you. But
I think like if you're like on the go, you like to transact on the go, just like real quick wherever. The X is great because you can do Bluetooth and then transact with Bluetooth. But if you're just like, no, I would never transact out and about. I do that at home, at my computer, at my desk. That's Plus works perfectly fine,
Oh, Kiribora. Hang on. All right. So, okay. We will try not to ramble so much. let's see. Did you have another question? Here we go. I cannot add Sol account on Ledger Live. Why? So it's most likely at this point if you're not updated on Ledger Live. First off, sorry we skipped your question. Totally didn't see it. But yeah, if you're getting an error because there was an issue with Sol pretty recently. Actually, have you tried yet today or yesterday, like within the last like 2 days? Because there was an issue with our backend for Sol. It wasn't able to communicate with the blockchain. And so there was an error that was being thrown, but that's been cleared up. And so, yeah. So if you're still having that issue, reach out to us and we'll help you get it sorted out. Support.ledger.com. All right, cool. Oh, you tried yesterday? Yeah, okay. I would say try again. Make sure you're on. Let me show you Ledger Live real quick.
Yeah, 2.7,
Yeah.
1.1, most
Yeah.
recent version. Clear the cache.
Yeah, so go here.
You should be able to re-add the account this time.
Yeah.
I mean, if for any reason it's
Let's
an
see.
emergency, you can always use Phantom or Soulflare. Great workarounds.
Yeah.
But this should be resolved in Ledger Live with our most recent version.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if we get an error message.
Moment of truth right here. Synchronizing.
Solana could take a little bit of time.
And
Usually the error message would have been thrown by now. I wouldn't even get to this point where it's synchronizing. This is a good sign that everything's good.
Yeah.
And I did send some Sol earlier, and it was okay.
actually, yeah, I was withdrawing some deactivated staked Sol earlier today, and so that worked for me, thankfully. It's taking a while to synchronize.
Yeah, Solana takes a long time to sync.
I get the error on this step after the wait.
After a wait, okay.
Interesting.
See if we can recreate that.
Well, for the time being, regardless, you do know that Soulflare and Phantom are great workarounds. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we can add the account. So it took a little bit of time, but there is account functions. You can add new accounts, which means you'd be able to remove any previous accounts, re-add them, synchronize them. It might just take a little bit longer than usual. If for any reason it keeps happening, please don't hesitate to open a support ticket with us at support.ledger.com. And in the meantime, you can always use Phantom or Soulflare with your Ledger connected. It's a great workaround, and then we'll be able to get back to you between now and then. Yeah,
and if you got a VPN active on your computer, try disabling it, and that could also be causing like weird like latency issues that cause timeout or have issues connecting. Oh, bootloader. Okay. All right, I promise this is the last one.
I think for Microsoft, if you're using a Microsoft computer and you're stuck in bootloader, you want to try to right-click Ledger Live and run it as administrator.
Yeah.
I know that's the Microsoft.
Here we go. We got an article here that gives you some troubleshooting steps. Oh, did you try this article already? I don't know if you did, but if you haven't already tried the steps in this article, try it out. So I would say probably reach out to us.
Open a ticket with us. We'd be more than happy to take a closer look at it, see what's going on.
Yeah, we'll be able to ask you some more pointed questions. Yep. All right, cool. Well, it's been really, really good to answer your guys' questions and to be back. We've taken the last few weeks off our support team, so it's definitely good to be back. But yeah, so I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Peace, guys.